You see, the way Flask Migrate discovers your models is via the migrate equals migrate app, db line in application PY. If you follow the rest of the file, you'll see that now we import counter.views on line 19. Okay, so open counter.views. Notice something missing? Yes, there's no mentions of the models PY anywhere here. So if we do the migration now, migrate won't see any models anywhere and won't generate a migration. So on line 3, insert the following command. From counter.models, import counter. Now Flask Migrate will go through applications PY, then go over to counter.views and see the models and be able to know there's some database definitions in this application. Now go ahead and save the file. Remember this rule, as this is 80% of the issues with migrations not being created. So let's initialize our migrations folder. Go to your terminal or open a bash in Python anywhere. Make sure your virtual env is activated and do flask db init. You will see some messages regarding the creation of a directory called migrations. Now if you look in your code editor, you will see the directory. Notice that we have a versions directory inside that is empty. When we do our first migration, we will see a file created in there. So at this point, nothing has happened. Flask Migrate just initializes the directory where the versions will be stored. We'll now do the first migration. So do flask db migrate. If your database connection is working correctly, you will see the first version file created on your directory. If you see some errors, check that your MySQL server is running and that you can connect to it from the terminal using the counter app username and password. Now open the versions file. It would look like a string with numbers and letters ending with _.py. You will see there's a revision identifier section and then two functions, upgrade and downgrade. Upgrade shows the commands to move from the previous state. In this case, since this is our first one, it says it'll create the counter table and add two columns, ID and count. Downgrade just says it will drop or delete the table. That would effectively return us to the previous state when we had no counter table. It's always a good idea to look at the latest version that Migrate is generating and check that the actions in there match the changes you are intending to do. If for some reason they don't, you can safely delete it before doing anything else. Check for any missing stuff in your model and then generate it again. Once things look good, you can complete the process by doing an upgrade, which actually makes the changes on the database. On this first time, it will actually create the table for us. So go ahead and do flask db upgrade. Notice the message that says running upgrade, empty message. That's how you can tell it actually implemented the changes on the database. When you're moving from one version to another, you will see the two version IDs in there. This is good enough for now. As we continue building our application and adding more tables and fields, we'll get better acquainted with the migration workflow.